Tired of waiting to see Maki butcher the Zenin clan? Well, after Maki arrives at the Zenin clan's headquarters to collect cursed tools for the culling games, and she immediately runs into Naoya Zenin, who makes fun of her burn scars. Maki claps back, saying she thought he only judged women by looking at their asses. He says that all she had going for her was her face, and now that's wrecked too. Maki ignores him and makes her way to the cursed warehouse. She passes her mother, who demands her not to go there, and for once make her feel glad that she gave birth to her, but she ignores her cruel words. She enters the warehouse and is shocked to see her father. Ogi Zenin reveals he anticipated her move and emptied the warehouse prior to her arrival. Her father moves away, and we see her twin sister Mai injured on the floor, who was captured to be a bargaining chip. Maki readies herself to fight her own father, but suddenly he activates his technique. However, Maki wields Dragon Bone, a sword that accumulates cursed energy and ejects it out of the back like a mini jet engine. They both get ready to strike, and Ogi draws his sword, slashing at Maki with incredible speed. But Maki activates her sword's ability, resulting in her driving it straight through his katana, breaking it. Thinking she has the advantage, she attacks again. However, Ogi's blade is returned, and he counters, slashing Maki multiple times. She's confused, but his blade is back in the form of fire. She falls to the ground as he sheds tears whilst revealing he couldn't become the head because his children were worthless. Ogi drags both of his daughters as he explains how children should never hold back their parents. He tosses his children into a room meant for training and discipline, a room where countless spirits, grade 2 and lower, are kept. He explains that right now they're hiding out of fear of him, but once he leaves, they'll emerge and devour them. He bids farewell and calls them a stain on his life. Maki lies unconscious in Mai's arms as the curses emerge. Mai puts her hand on Maki's chest and thankfully hears a heartbeat. Mai places her mouth on Maki's. Maki suddenly wakes up on a beach. She sits up to see her sister beside her, explaining how her curse technique can't make anything complicated, and since she's badly injured from her father's cuts, after she makes this final weapon, she'll likely die. Mai says goodbye as she starts walking away, but Maki yells for her to stop. She asks her sister to come back, but Mai explains that she's known for a while that twins are unsuccessful as sorcerers because curse techniques treat identical twins as one person. She says that as long as she's around, Maki will never fully develop. Maki chases after her sister, and Mai holds out her hand, leaving her sister with one final gift. She'll take the remaining cursed energy with her in a sacrifice, so Maki's heavenly restriction is fully realized, but she asks her twin to promise her one thing: destroy everything. Everything, big sister. Maki awakes next to her sister's lifeless body. She begs her to wake up as she cries. The cursed spirits surround her. Her father looks back, noticing an insane pressure. Shocked as to how the cursed spirits are suddenly all gone, he sees his daughter with her sister's corpse as he freezes, thinking to himself, "My body remembers, but I tried so hard to forget this fear." Maki stares coldly as her overwhelming intensity reminds her father of the only other person to leave it behind, Toji Zenin. His eyes expand in terror. He activates his technique, shouting that he himself will burn her to the bone. As he shouts his words, Maki flashes forward in an instant, slicing his head in two. Maki takes a look at her sister's gift. Mai, let's get started. After Maki's heavenly restriction is fully realized following the death of Mai, she finally begins the slaughter of the entire Zenin clan, starting off with her father, who was frozen in fear since he thought he saw Toji again. The alarm bells ring, and Jinshi Zenin, along with Naoya, are alerted that Maki has gone mad and cut down her father. Both are in disbelief. Meanwhile, the Kukuri unit dispatches to take care of her. This is a unit of Zenin males without curse techniques that undergo grueling training. They quickly surround Maki from all sides. Maki is unbothered and reflects on her memories with her sister. As they launch to attack, Mai's request to destroy everything flashes through Maki's mind. She slashes the man's hands off in an instant. The massacre begins as she slices and dices through them, dismembering and impaling every one of them. demonstrating the strength of her heavenly restriction. The Kukuru unit's head arrives and sees Maki standing over the entire unit's bodies in a gruesome sight. Suddenly, another figure emerges, causing giant hands to shoot out from the ground in an attempt to subdue their butcher. The Hei have arrived, and they are the strongest sorcerers of the Zenin clan. Maki breaks out of her entrapment and zooms at her relatives. She clashes with them, but they're no match as she stabs both in their necks simultaneously. Their last thoughts are, "She's fast. Is she really the same Maki?" Suddenly, Maki is frozen in place by a technique as giant eyes appear before her. Ranta has activated his ability and gives Jinshi the chance to attack. Maki smiles maniacally and Ranta panics, realizing she's gonna break free. She destroys the eyes. His are eyes destroyed as a result of Maki breaking free, but he yells for Jinshi to kill her now because she's become the same as Toji. Jinshi launches his attack, throwing countless giant hands down on Maki. Ranta, now blind, smiles in relief, thinking that Maki is dead. However, someone emerges from the smoke. Maki walks past Ranta with Jinshi's head in her hand. She tosses it into the pond as Naoya, the head of the Hei, confronts her, asking, "Doesn't she have a heart?" Maki replies coldly, "No. She took it with her." Naoya reflects on when he was a child and how he was told he was a genius that one day would be head of the clan, but he was told about a black sheep, a man who doesn't have an ounce of cursed energy. He thinks to himself, how awful must that feel? How pitiful must that person look? Until the young Naoya is proven wrong as he bumps into the infamous black sheep himself. He freezes as he gazes upon the ghost of the Zenin clan, his eyes completely ice cold. Back to the present, Naoya and Maki are throwing a barrage of blows at each other. He gets the upper hand, landing his projection sorcery technique, allowing him to land a deadly kick on Maki, sending her flying. Naoya is relentless and runs after her, attacking her again, shouting, You are not Toji. The sin of the insignificant is ignorance of strength. No one understood Toji, except, possibly, for Gojo himself. Naoya doesn't give her any breaks as she's sent flying. He zooms after her, yelling, "It's not you!" He grabs her by the leg and pummels her through the rocks and boulders. He thinks of Gojo and Toji, saying that the one who stands with them is me, as he lands a blow on Maki's face. Maki realizes she's in trouble as Naoya doesn't stop for a second, building up his momentum to insane lengths, shouting that strength is weight and speed, as he decides he'll end the fight with a punch at max speed. Maki plants herself into the ground, and she raises her arms outward to welcome a head-on collision. In exchange for Mai's life, Maki had gained a body of steel without cursed energy. But she's injured and exhausted from her fights with the other Zenin warriors, so she was aware she's at a disadvantage fighting Naoya, who's already past subsonic speed. Instead of colliding, Naoya only slaps her arm. However, Maki thinks back on Naobito and how when a user of projection sorcery touches their opponent, both must move at 24 frames per second, and failure means 1 second of freezing. Naoya runs back at her using top speed, shouting that he never would have fallen for her collision bait and that you really are an imposter. However, his eyes expand in shock. Maki has anticipated his move, explaining that she now understands his technique, and with her special body, she can finally see things clearly. "You imposter," he shouts for the last time as Maki ends the fight with one punch to Naoya's face, pushing him straight into the ground. His entire face is broken by only one blow. Maki cockily asks him to say that again, would you? After, Maki visits her helpless mother, asking what she meant earlier when she ordered Maki to not go to the warehouse and make her glad for once that she gave birth to her. Her mother only yells for her to stay away and walks back in fear as Maki coldly approaches her, then slices her throat. We see the Zenin compound in ruins, littered with the bodies of numerous Zenins. However, a trail of blood appears. Naoya Zenin stumbles away, somehow still alive, even with a crushed face. He laughs, thinking that damn girl didn't even finish him off, but footsteps walk toward him. Maki's mother, with her throat open, is behind Naoya, holding a kitchen knife. Naoya realized he's cooked as he can't use his cursed energy because of his injuries. Maki's mother's last act is stabbing Naoya, finishing him off. Her final thoughts are of her daughters playing and how in reality she was proud of Maki's actions and giving birth to both of them. Maki carries her sister's corpse out of the Zenin compound, and Momo's face turns to dread. She breaks down in tears as Maki leaves Mai in her hands. Momo asks her what she's going to do now, but Maki only silently leaves. It's revealed that members of the Zenin clan who were absent that day would soon die violent deaths. Days later, the Gojo and Kamo clan discuss removing the Zenin clan from the Big Three, but Jujutsu HQ puts their proposal on hold.